Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about The Night Olivia Fell by Christina McDonald. I decided to talk about this book in its own video for a couple of different reasons. First, it was on my 2019 anticipated reads video. Secondly, with it being in that video and also a haul video, a lot of people responded to this book in particular. It sounded interesting to them or they really wanted to read it. So here we are. The Night Olivia Fell is the story of a mother, Abby, who's awoken late one night to learn that her daughter, Olivia, has fallen off of a bridge in their town and lies in the hospital, brain dead and pregnant. Abby then makes it her personal mission to find out exactly what happened to Olivia. She begins to wonder how well she actually knew her own daughter. Now, the story is told from both Abby's perspective, which is in the present as she learns each new thing about Olivia, and then from Olivia's perspective, going back in time and working our way up to her actual accident. A lot of people are insisting that Olivia just fell, that it was an accident, and Abby is convinced that's not true. Olivia has marks around both of her wrists that are bruising and look a lot like handprints. She's out there on her own trying to get to the bottom of what happened to her daughter. I would say that overall this book is good. I'm probably landing somewhere in the 3.5-star range on this one. I personally had a hard time connecting with Abby as a parent early on in the book. She immediately goes into angry, defensive, sort of obsessive mode. And there's this desperation about Abby that I found kind of irritating through the beginning of the book. I guess I can empathize and sort of make excuses for that. Her daughter, her only daughter, that she's raised on her own, is clinging to life via artificial means. And there's a whole set of circumstances that Abby is just now realizing. That said, this book does work its way up to a really kind of emotional crescendo. By the end of the book, I was bawling my eyes out and overtaken with emotion as Abby begins to accept the circumstances, as realization dawns about what happened to Olivia and everything begins to resolve. It's really a gut-wrenching, emotional read at that point. I was crying, and it wasn't an easy book to recover from. In fact, after reading this book, I dove immediately into a romance novel in order to sort of get my head straight, get my head on straight again. Both Abby and Olivia have a very complicated story. Abby herself was abandoned by her mother and went to live with her older sister, slightly older, and really was a wild child and very misguided and didn't make great decisions. That's sort of how she ended up being a single parent. Because of those circumstances, she almost has this overbearing and controlling relationship with Olivia. She does not want anything to happen to Olivia ever. I think Abby would just as soon put Olivia in a little box so that she could protect her from everything. And obviously that works for a while, but when your child becomes a teenager, living in that box gets a little annoying to them. And that's what happens with Olivia. Olivia starts wondering things about who her father is and why her mother is the way that she is and what sort of secrets her mother has been hiding from her. In the meantime, Olivia also has a pretty complicated teenage love life between two different boys and a best friend who's not a great friend. All of these things get woven together to create what is actually a really good novel. I mentioned before that the premise of the book reminds me a lot of the premise of Reconstructing Amelia by Kimberly McCreight. That book I have not read, so I can't say for sure if they're similar in any way other than, this mother searching for answers regarding this fall or accident that their daughter has. I'm not sure Christina McDonald is doing anything wildly original here. Like I said, the best parts of the book for me are probably the emotional intensity, both the negative emotional intensity and the, I don't know if you can say positive when you're talking about grief, but the feelings you don't mind feeling in order to connect to the characters of this book. The writing is great. I think one of Christina McDonald's strengths is imagery. Imagery through description. She uses a lot of analogy, simile, kind of language to really give the reader a sense of, emotion and what the characters are seeing, experiencing all of the characters' senses, basically. Christina McDonald did a fabulous job of that. I think that's probably the second best thing about the novel, just slightly behind pulling emotion out of the reader. Unfortunately, The Night Olivia Fell kind of made me sort of come to the realization that I'm growing bored with these mystery / crime fiction novels where something has already happened and we're going to slowly uncover the details. And I think it's just a phase for me because traditionally it's one of the main types of books that I go for, that I like to read, that I find most interesting. I mean, I have a ton of abduction stories and, missing person stories, and all of those are in the same vein as The Night Olivia Fell. They're all about this event that happened, and then we're usually trying to uncover the exact circumstances and the people who are responsible for this one event through a dual timeline. A lot of these books will feature a person in law enforcement, so they're not really my favorite kinds of thrillers. I like them. I have a lot of them. There are a ton of those kinds of books on my TBR shelves. I read a book like The Kind Worth Killing and then read a book like The Night Olivia Fell, and there's just a huge difference in the level of excitement, hence thriller. So I kind of feel like I need to get away from this sort of book for a minute. I just want to be pulled through a book. And these types of crime fiction, mystery books don't pull me through them, if that makes any sense at all. I want there to be stakes. I guess that's what I'm saying. I want there to be stakes. I want somebody to be in danger. I want somebody about to lose something. I want a race against time sort of circumstances in my books right now. And like I said, this is probably just a phase. But if you take The Night Olivia Fell, for example, it's already happened. Olivia fell. She fell. And it's not a spoiler to say that we've lost Olivia. Olivia is not coming back from this. She's brain dead. The only thing that keeps the story moving for us is finding out why. Nothing against the book. It's absolutely, like I said, it's a good book. It just kind of made me stop and wonder if it's the kind of book I really want to read right now. Maybe not. I have very little time to read these days, and there's nothing worse than having limited time to read and getting hung up inside of a certain book because it doesn't move fast enough, because it's not exciting enough, because there's no suspense in it. Not that that happened with The Night Olivia Fell, but it happens to me a lot. The Night Olivia Fell helped me come to that realization that I want a little bit more thrill in my thriller. That's probably just a right now kind of thing. I think you guys were right in your attraction to The Night Olivia Fell. I think that a lot of my subscribers would really like this book, especially those who love mystery. It's the kind of book where there's a lot of different possibilities here, and it's never obvious. You think you have it figured out, but you don't. You know, it's one of those kinds of books. So I think that this book genuinely has a really large audience out there. It's all over the place on Instagram. That's another reason that I wanted to do a dedicated video for it. Though I haven't sought out anybody's actual opinion or review of the book, because I typically don't do that until I've thought mine through and voiced mine in a video. There you have it. The book is The Night Olivia Fell by Christina McDonald. I am curious about Christina McDonald because, like I said, the imagery in this book was fabulous. I will want to check out something else from her. If you've read The Night Olivia Fell, or you have any other questions about the book that I maybe didn't address in this video, please leave all of that in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon.